all those spare boxes of things you never really unpacked. So did you really move in? Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. I'm Tristan, this channel is Trist Sims, and we build really fun Sims builds together. So welcome, strap in, it's a bit of a longer one today, which I am very excited about, as I always am. So in this week's video, we're building a mid-century modern build, which mightn't be a surprise if you've tuned in any of my other videos. But, so this one does have a lot of parallels in terms of the design and some of the interior elements to my first video, which was kind of building my mid-century modern dream home. I didn't use any CC in this build. I kept it CC free, which can be a challenge, especially with CurseForge and things coming live. But I really am super happy with how it turned out, so I can't wait for you guys to see the final kind of build. It's beautiful. The inspiration for this build initially started around a home I found online. It's a home that was located in somewhere called the Dandenongs. Now, if you're not from Australia or even from Victoria, it is a range of small mountains in Victoria. I'm not sure of exactly where there it is, but that's kind of specific, so I don't think you need to know that. It was on a website called The Design Files, and I'll link it below, but I will throw some photos up through the video so you can kind of see what it looked like. Now, I will say it wasn't really a replica. I didn't build it from those photos completely, but some of the spaces and vibes and things I got from that article I used in the build. External idea, right? Because I had a pretty clear idea before I even saw these photos about what I wanted the house to be shaped like, and I wanted one of the really central ideas of the home to be this kind of layered entrance and exit. I saw Little Simsy post a video and it was a build for her legacy challenge, and it was built entirely on a platform. So I learnt after what you're seeing here, because what I wanted to do is have this tiered stair system. So kind of long stairs is probably the best way to describe them, in the front and also in the back. I really like the idea of a tiered backyard that worked its way slowly down to the grass area. What you're seeing here was me really sorting out the floor plan of the home and that kind of thing, but then off stream you will notice a bit of a cut in the stream when I went to work out how she actually achieved that tiered thing. I did have to bulldoze this and rebuild the same thing, but on a platform. So if you're wondering how I achieve the kind of really cool tiered idea that starts to happen, it is platforms. So make sure you know that from the start so you don't end up in pain like I did in the end. What I started to do here is get a bit of an idea of what the external of the house might look like. So really kind of putting the windows in, the doors in, that kind of thing, trying to work out what that kind of vibe exactly was. And you'll notice those tiered stairs and things will very quickly appear because I did those all off stream, which I'm annoyed about. I didn't screen record it. I often do work off stream and screen record, but that day was not my day, okay? You'll just have to forgive me for that. Now, the sunken area, I guess, idea. It's not a new one, but it is one I really love, and I know it's not accessible, so don't at me about that. But I do love the way it fits into this specific style of build. You'll notice actually most of my builds have some sort of sunken something. I think it's just really fun. I really like the depth and the character it can add to a build, as well as a feel of coziness. Which I really love. I love when a home feels cozy and homey, which is what I really tried to create here. This is not obviously final. What you're seeing kind of fall into place. It was a lot of placeholder furniture and stuff, so I could get an idea of sizing of the home, but I love how this room turned out. It's one of my favorite rooms I think I've done. I really love the shelving unit on the wall. I love the way that these kind of pillars and stuff kind of fall into place, which you'll see slowly happen. I really love doing this build, so you guys please let me know what you think of it. Although I really did love it, so maybe don't tell me if you hate it. No, but tell me if you hate it. I want to know what you guys like seeing me do, and these kinds of builds are becoming my favorite to do because they are so close to what I would love in real life. I think one day I'll get there. You just got to keep those positive affirmations, right? You'll notice here I start to section off that really open plan, kind of living, kitchen, dining, everything else place that you see. I think it was a bit too open. I do love open plan living, but I think that probably was too much. I did include a butler's pantry in the kitchen, just because I think that's really nice. I think that would be a nice thing to have, and I think it made it really easy for me to make the kitchen really simplistic. Now, what you'll see me putting in here is actually a library. A library is not something I really ever expected to put inside a Sims home, but I think, like, my kind of idea was like it's a home that's been passed down through family generations, and they've collected all this literature, both related to their professions as well as family history and that kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool, having this kind of old, really warm library that turned out really nicely. Again, almost all the furniture you see right now is placeholder, so don't judge on my furnishing choices. It was more to get a good idea of the right size of things. I wanted to make sure the home was big and vast and felt expensive, but wasn't too big. I don't want your Sims walking around blank area, which part of the build did become, but I think I did a really good thing with it, which is something I'm really excited for you guys to see. So you'll see that tiered idea that I was talking about. So the front yard is very tiered, and you'll see me play around with it a little bit and have those platforms where your Sims can freely walk up. I really love the way that this elevated the build. I think I really, to be honest, when you saw me kind of furnishing the inside, I'd almost given up on that idea, and coming back to it with the right information of how to make it happen, I think is the reason this build turned out so well. I do spitball with so many terrain paints and things like that you'll see through here. Bear with me, some of them in hindsight maybe weren't the nicest choices, but I did fix them, so it's fine. For the garden, I went with a pretty simple palette, I think. Lots of greenery. I wanted only white or yellow flowers, and I ended up sticking with just 4 types of plants, I believe, to keep it really consistent. So I've got a couple of other trees and things around the place, but you'll see 4 key kinds of plants, which are also featured in the surprise inside that you'll see soon. Now you'll see here I did want a kind of wavy edging, so I ended up achieving that just by placing lots and lots of rocks, which was a bit tedious, but it definitely added a lot to the final result of how this kind of garden turned out, and I am so happy I put in the legwork. I've seen so many beautiful builds on Twitter and speed builds on YouTube that take advantage of this idea, and I have always wondered how people sat there and did all of it, but really it wasn't that bad, and it looks so good, so I'm so glad I finally knuckled in and did it. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up for a bit. I'm gonna let you guys just sit and watch the build. I'll pop back in a little bit later to talk you through some of the final design. Hello, I'm back with you, and while Tristan has appeared, this time with less natural light and more strip lighting, so bear with that. I don't think you care that much, but if you're wondering, that's what it is. So, the reason I'm back, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, is because this is where I was streaming again, so I need to cover my face cam because I don't have the hardware to record that separately just yet, but bear with me, we'll get there. So what you're kind of seeing me do here is fit out the kitchen. Don't know if you guys have dealt with it, but the bug where your clutter items disappear happened to me here. So some of that kitchen clutter didn't end up where I put it, which is annoying because I liked where it was. But anyway, bigger fish to fry, bigger problems. So as I zoom around here, because last time I talked to you was before all of this, you're seeing more of a finalized lounge idea and kitchen idea as well. If you caught the couple of glimpses of that lounge room, I'm so happy with that. I think the kind of like custom lounge that curves around that creates that little conversation pit is wonderful. I think the sitting chair, like a reading nook in front of the fireplace on the pillar, is so nice. I think it really suits that sunken feeling. I think that sunken idea really worked probably better than any of my other builds so far in this one, and I really love that. With the kitchen, I decided to go for some teal accents, which is no color I normally do. Full transparency, even in real life, I don't like the color blue. And that translates to a lot of my Sims builds. I like earthy tones, I like greens, I like yellow. So yeah, I think you see a lot of that in my builds, but I've been trying to push past that a little bit, which you'll see in a couple of the bedrooms here as well. I've not used this table before. I think it's from Fitness. It looks great. I love it. I'm going to use it so much more. This is also a bit of a different art kit, or like paintings that I hadn't used before, but I decided were quite cool and probably not something I'd put in my real house, but definitely something that can fit into a build for someone that's not you. So why not, right? I really love this little record player nook and dining area as well. If you follow me on TikTok or you've seen my shorts, you might see I posted a fly-through of this area of the house. Sizing down a few plants and recoloring them and stuff, I think elevated this to 11. I love this shelving unit from Pastel Pop, and I've always thought of it as only something that could be in a study or a bedroom, so really bringing it and making it the centerpiece of this dining and living area was so cool. It's like a use for it I never expected. So I'll take it. I'll take furniture fitting in places that it shouldn't. We love that. We love to see it. Speaking of furniture fitting where it shouldn't, the bathroom clutter kit has just come out. What are you guys' thoughts on it? I know there's been a lot of Twitter discourse around how low poly some of the items are, and I think my 2 cents on that is you have to remember some people are playing on really low powered machines, and while it's beautiful to have these really I guess alpha assets that are really detailed and wonderful, A, that's not everyone's playstyle, but B, that doesn't actually really work in a lot of systems, unfortunately. What you are seeing me now here is that little surprise I was talking about. So in true Tristan fashion, there is a skylight in the build, and you will see me try and add another. I placed this skylight though for a really intentional reason. And that intentional reason, I'm just going to spoil it because I'm so excited to share this, is I made this interior garden that kind of like where you walk through into the library and you can see out to your right, you can see a beautiful outdoor garden that the house wraps around. I bought that garden in and open. It's not closed off or anything. It is this kind of little garden pit. It might be dangerous in real life. It might harbor snakes, but who cares? It's The Sims. It's The Sims, and it also followed the reference photo. The reference photo definitely had this kind of thing inside, so you know what? I'm sticking to that. It was the reference photo that made me do it. I was trying to make the roof work, because it wasn't for the second skylight, and it didn't, so I got rid of it, and that's okay. You know, sometimes we try and we fail, and that is fine. So yeah, that interior garden idea starts to fall together here, which I am really stoked with. It's not an original intention I had for the place, but I think it's one that's quite true to the inspiration for the build. And it's also just adds this kind of, it's a really cool element that I think adds to the lounge room more than anything else. Like looking over your back, you've got this beautiful kind of indoor garden that's lit really beautifully when I finally get there, which I did not immediately. You might have noted some weird choices, but then that informed my choice for lighting around the exterior, as well as you'll kind of see me start to replace. I did decide to carry a lot of the outdoor brick inside because I think that again is really true to that inspiration. I think a lot of those homes really did take advantage of that brick and bring it inside for the pillars and some of the, you know, outside walls of the inside. Does that make sense? Too bad if not, you're getting it. And then they use kind of wood paneling and things, which I didn't use as much, but yeah, I think I really kind of matched that vibe. These spotted rugs, that came out so much better than I thought. That's another thing that I hadn't used before, and I think it is really what the home is. Now, here I am decorating the entryway, and it looked really cool. I used a platform to place, like make this kind of brick table that was built into the wall. And then the really sad thing was when I went into camera mode, and I think it's because of the platform maybe, but when I went into camera mode, all of this furnishing disappeared. So you'll notice in my video tour at the end, none of this is here, which is sad. I had to be strategic about how I entered the house with the camera because I didn't want you to see an unfurnished room. It takes you out of the illusion, you know? But yeah, if you've seen that bug, you know how to fix that bug, let me know. Leave a comment, tell me what to do, because though I'd like to make those tables again, but I feel like that might cause this to recur, which we don't want. We don't want that. So this is where I started to bring together the idea of what this other end of the house might look like. And this was another, and I guess it's the theme of the build, this was another area where I chose to experiment with colors and kind of items that I don't normally use. I really wanted, don't know what the reason was, but I really wanted the little cow plant terrarium in the build. So this is where it ends up. That is a true placement. And then you'll see me experiment with the placement of the room to make it feel more natural, which didn't end up landing. It ends up very right angled and very clinical in that respect, but I think it turned out kind of cool and a bit different. So you'll see the black and white color scheme that, as I was saying, is not usual for me, start to come together. So different to any room I've made before, but I think in contrast to that really bright dining room with like the orange rug and the shelving with all those color pops on it, I think it is a really nice contrast and it's quite classy. I'd like to sit and have a conversation there. Maybe it feels like somewhere I'd have a conversation with my boss, to be honest. Maybe I don't want to be there. Who knows? Who knows? You can use it for whatever you like if you live there, I guess. So you guys, I need your help. I am very new to content creation. I love that The Sims is what I've ended up content creating around. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Are these speed builds what you want me to... are these speed builds what you want to see me do? Do you want to see me do builds in one-time speed, talking me through how I've created certain things and how I pick what items to put together and how I use color to elevate rooms? Do you want to see me really lean into shorts, which I've been doing more of lately? Just tell me, leave a comment below. What kind of comment do you like seeing in The Sims? Do you want to see me play around with Cass? I don't think you want to. Side note, I don't think you want that at all. I'm not good at it. But do you want to see me play around with Cass? Do you want to see more of my legacy gameplay? Do you want to see me stream on YouTube? I've been streaming on Twitch. I tried streaming on YouTube earlier this week. I don't know. So I'm trying a heap of weird and wonderful things, and I'm really wanting to hear your input about what you want to see me push forward with, what content you want to see start to fill the Tris Sims channel, as I'm really coming into my groove, I think, with how to build this into my schedule and how to, I guess, quickly, or how to efficiently put together this content. So please leave comments about what you like, what you don't like. If you like a certain build I've done, you want to see me lean into that style more. If you want to see me do community lots, you want to see more homes, I'm open. I am, I think, in an experimental phase. of what I'm doing here, where I'm just kind of leaning into all sorts of different things to see what is my groove. So yeah, I will do one of those shameless self-plugs. If you want to leave me a comment and let me know what you like, as we were talking about, please subscribe, hit the notifications bell. It helps me out so much with just trying to gain a bit of it helps me out with trying to gain a few of you guys to tune into my content and tell me whether I'm doing well, tell me whether I'm doing crap. I don't know. I'm gonna keep telling myself I'm doing well until you tell me otherwise. So and if we get back to the build for a second, you'll notice I've kind of fit out that master bedroom, and that was one of the multiple different color schemes that I was talking about, with this kind of like pink and teal. And again, I'm usually very warm but earthy tone warm, not pink warm and not teal. So I think it's not any colors like that. Bedroom is probably not something I would ever design for myself or have in my own home for me, but you know, maybe in the future, maybe I will have a room like that. We'll see. We have my quintessential bathroom. I would love to say I experimented with this bathroom, but I did not. If you've watched my builds, they are all very similar. I really love that checkerboard tile and that tan color. The floor's a bit different, but it's the same. It is a very, very usual bathroom for me, and it works. It is tried, it is tested, it is beautiful, and I won't be changing it. Thank you. So here is where you'll start to see me kind of bring together that family library I was talking about. And I had a brief moment where I thought a modern kind of library would be cool, but then I had the even better idea to make it something that was a little more old school. And I think the vibes are immaculate in this library when it is finished. I love it. It is beautiful. It's these green and orange tones with a brick wall and a running rug and a talking area and a cup. Oh, it's just divine. I'm obsessed with it, and I hope you are too. It again is an element that I didn't really expect to have in the home. It doesn't have a huge amount of function outside of being a multi-desk study, but it is gorgeous. It's such a beautiful space, and in the tour, I think it really is. Yeah, it's really nice how it worked out. The parquet floors they were originally I envisioned, I guess, when I first put them in, to be a single room thing. It would have tiles and carpet and stuff, and it was all through the house in the end, which I don't think is the worst thing. Parquet flooring is so nice. I can't wait to have it one day. You'll start to see me do the final few polishing touches on the library, bringing in some more color in and that kind of thing. So yeah, this is where it all kind of fell together, which I really love. Now you guys, I want to ask you something. Do you include washers and dryers in your builds if you have that kit? You'll see I did a spare room because I feel like it makes sense in a house this size to have a spare room, and you'll see me furnish that soon. And I made it a bit of a laundry. I've actually never included them in my builds. And call me ignorant and a fake simmer, but I didn't realize they were functional items. If you've caught any of my other videos, you'll know that I played with the base game in a few, I actually think game packs. I don't think they were even like expansions or anything like that for the longest time. And probably about a year and a half ago during the pandemic, I decided to bring them all on. So like I have almost all of the build buy kits. I've got all the expansions and that kind of thing, to really give me more options with the gameplay. So I missed a lot. And in my legacy challenge, I'm trying to do my best to experience as many of those things I've missed. But obviously I still am missing some. So we'll get there. But do you guys play with it? Is it fun? Is it as annoying personally as I find Bust the Dust? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. This bedroom I'm doing here, so I've just done one bedroom in a blue color scheme. This next one is a kid's bedroom, which I used purple and orange, which I think came together really well, honestly, as well. More colors. I use orange all the time, so let's leave that one out. But the purple something different. I actually realized through Pastel Pop and a few of the other kits, we have really nice purple pieces to use. So I think it's a color I'll probably lean into more often. Purple Trist Sims. Watch this space. Now this is where I moved on to the spare room. Don't pay this too much mind because I didn't, honestly. As I said, I included a laundry. Thought a house this size probably should have a laundry if I'm including everything else, because why not, right? And I thought, like, mid-century modern homes, I feel like always artists and architects and that kind of thing. So I thought it'd be cool to have like a little, it's basically a skill building spare room, if I'm being really kind of upfront and honest. But I thought it was cool to have like that area where they'd been painting, a treadmill for the fitness skill, all those spare boxes of things you never really unpacked. So did you really move in? But I think, yeah, the newspaper on the floor and stuff, it's funny, right? Because it's just a spare room, and I don't often lean into the reality of what those spare rooms might have in them and that kind of thing. And I think this is real. I think this is like what I would honestly expect in that kind of room. Except maybe the laundry. I think the laundry would be a real integrated space, which I think I'll work on including more in my builds, because I think there's an opportunity to create some really cool ideas for that. But I think it's really cool. You'll start to see here the backyard start to form. The property does end up having a pool, and it's not a pool like one I've done before, but I really love this idea of like you swim through the pool, you get out onto that second concrete piece, tile, I don't know. But then you get into the hot tub, swim through. In real life, you'd probably just be able to get down that ledge, but the Sims cannot. So we'll live the Sims fantasy for a wee moment, if not anything. I was really confused on what to do with this backyard, and this does, like, look, it doesn't fit the vibe, I don't think, but I really wanted to use the little campers stuff to have an outdoor cinema area where you kind of Sim can have all of their friends over and they can sit in the backyard and be cooked a dinner and then sit around and watch movies on the kind of big screen. I thought that was super cool, so I included it, made it a bit of a kids area of the backyard, some area to do some gardening, an area to entertain and feed people, and a swimming pool. So I think it is quite robust and has everything you'd kind of want and need, which is really cool. But guys, we're coming so close to the end of this video, so thank you so much for tuning in. It means the absolute world to me. As I've said earlier, I want to know what you guys want to see from me. So leave comments if you have any ideas, you have any feedback. I love that stuff. I thrive on it. If you're feeling so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You'll know next time that I am either live, because I think I'm going to start streaming a little bit more on YouTube. I want to kind of build that community here a little bit more than I do on Twitch at the moment. You'll see my shorts, because I do tease my builds in shorts. I have another build ready to film the video for, but I have already done the build, which is a contemporary coastal build using so much CC, and it's so beautiful. I'm so proud of it, and it's so far from what I normally film. So as I said, subscribe. I'd love to see you back around here. That's it from me for now, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.